Phasmophobia, a game about hunting ghosts and grinding your soul away for the many trophies you have to unlock to join the Platinum Club of only about 550 people. In this video we will explore every bit of this game and what it takes to reach the top, since you know it won't be easy based on the completion percentage. Our humble journey begins of course in the tutorial where we learn how to use each gadget at our disposal to identify every ghost in the game. You see, there are 24 different ghosts, but only one can spawn each map, and our goal is to identify it. Every ghost has their own ability and a way to identify them, but let's not get ahead of ourselves and learn the basics first. At our disposal we have the basic flashlight. Next we have an EMF reader which registers a ghost activity and its strength. So for example, if the ghost throws a plate on the ground, the EMF reader will catch on and show us the strength of that particular action from 1 to 5, which provides crucial information for our investigation. Next we have the thermometer, which basically shows us in which room the ghost likes to hang around in by lowering the temperature. Next we have the dots projector, which displays the ghost silhouette when it walks past by. Definitely the most unreliable and weakest gadget in our disposal. The camera proves quite useful when checking for ghost orbs. Ghost orbs are these little white lights flying around once in a while. Next we have the ghost notebook, which the ghost writes into if he's in close proximity. And for the last evidence gathering tool we have the spirit box. The spirit box helps us communicate with the ghost if it is willing to. We just have to be close to it while initiating our question. With every gadget tested, we bravely end the tutorial and head out on our first mission on Tanglewood Drive. If you are a bit confused, don't worry, you aren't the only one. Luckily I am here to explain everything to you. We open our truck and enter a location where we get to work. First we need to find the ghost's favorite room by using our gadgets I just explained. My first ever game, the room was the nursery, which I figured out by using the thermometer and seeing it drop down in temperatures, so I grabbed my stuff and set everything up. Now it's time to observe the ghost's behavior. After using the camera and seeing no ghost orbs, which would look like this, we can go ahead and rule out the ghost orbs in our evidence book, which helps us in the mission to pinpoint the exact ghost we are dealing with. Every ghost has exactly 3 evidence it can display, with the exception of the mimic, which has 4. After running around a bunch, since I have no experience of what I should be doing, I come across our next clue in form of the freezing temperature. This one is self-explanatory, so if the temperature drops below 0 degrees, we can go ahead and check it in our notebook. Right after that, I stumble on the ghost notebook I laid down earlier just to find out the ghost left a very positive message for us. The last evidence we needed was the EMF level 5, which confirms that we are dealing with the shade. We enter our truck and head off successful as ever. We get rewarded with 2 trophies for this astonishing accomplishment and open up the shop, which I, in this point of time, have no idea how it works, but somehow I managed to buy something and get a trophy. I load up my next contract on a different map and I got this one completely wrong. In this game, if you make a wrong guess, you basically don't get rewarded with any XP, which in turn means no money. On my 3rd attempt ever, I was fortunate enough to witness the blood moon weather effect, which has a 4% chance of occurring. While this weather type is active, the ghost has a faster walking speed than usual during a hunt. The hunt is basically the only way for the ghost to actually kill you, and we will get to see how it plays out in just a minute. Since the contract is harder to complete during this blood moon effect, the game rewards you with 10% of additional XP after the contract completion. While trying my best to correctly assess which ghost type we are dealing with, I get a small warning from the ghost that it is about to start a hunt and try to kill us. We have no way of fighting back against the ghost, so our only option is to hide somewhere safe. My immediate reaction was to panic and run downstairs. The ghost can sense if we are holding an electronic device that is powered on, so before we plant ourselves behind a shelf or a box, we must turn everything off, otherwise we might end up at a local butcher shop. After we survive our first ghost hunt, I make my way upstairs to get to work and not recommended. At this point, being completely defeated, I took a break for a while. I came back stronger and got another trophy by guessing the mayor correctly. Right after, in the next contract, I find the ghost orbs, EMF reader gives us a 5, and after standing idle for about 7 minutes and not getting any indication of the dots evidence, I guess Obake, which turns out to be correct. As you can see, every single ghost in this game rewards us with a trophy if we guess them correctly for the first time ever. At this very moment, I'm trying to familiarize myself with the game before tackling other more challenging trophies which will be coming up shortly. Next contract, we encounter the spirit, which gives us ghost writing, EMF reader, and a spirit box as evidence. A bunch of failed runs and playtime later, I build up the confidence to try out something new. When choosing the difficulty, we can select a mode called the weekly challenge, where usually some restrictions are present and we are supposed to figure out how to succeed. I was fortunate enough that I started playing the game during the speedrun challenge week, which is laughably simple. You aren't even time gated like the title of the challenge would have you believe. Spawning in and oh my god, I'm about to bust. All of this equipment on the right side is the upgraded version of the stuff we already used by this point, like the spirit box, camera, or even flashlight. But all of this stuff on the left is a brand new equipment you unlock by earning XP, so let's go over it quickly. First we have the night vision that works exactly as you think it does. Motion sensor, which lets you know when a ghost walks by it. Parabolic microphone, which tracks the point of origin of any sound made. Crucifix that completely stops the ghost from initiating a hunt when it is in close proximity. Literally never use this item, so I don't even know what it's for. Sanity bottles to increase your sanity level, salt, which makes the ghost leave a footprint when it steps in it, firelight, which serves as a source of light, and the most important item in the whole game, incense, which helps you smudge the ghost during a hunt, leaving them blind for a few seconds. When a ghost is blind, it can't ever kill you, basically making you immune for a brief moment. With that explained, let's focus on the challenge. Nothing, and I mean nothing, changes during this difficulty. No restrictions, no mix-up, just simply figure out the evidence, guess the ghost correctly, and continue on. We do exactly that and unlock the Ure and immediately after the Revenant trophy. Also, by the way, to get the big payout from the weekly challenge, you need to guess the ghost correctly 3 times, so we load up another match and finish that without problem. As I was saying, we finished that without a problem and unlocked the trophy for beating 1 weekly challenge. There is a trophy for completing 10 of these, which sounds like a lot of fun. Oh, and also we get the trophy for discovering the gene for the very first time. Back to the horrible basic tier 1 gear, we discover an EMF 5, ghost writing, and ultraviolet as our evidence, which means we are dealing with the Mylink. This also marks our 10th completed contract, so at least we are getting kinda good at this. At least I hope so. A yokai, oni, and a demon later, we finally unlock every available piece of gear in the game. Each of them is still only on the first tier of strength, which means we need to upgrade them to the highest tier if we want to be as efficient as we can, and of course for a trophy. With a small amount of success behind me, I set my eyes on the next harder challenge of the game, which is completing a perfect investigation. To achieve a perfect investigation, you are required to correctly guess the ghost type, complete every optional objective on a map. You get 3 of these objectives every game, which vary in difficulty, but usually they are pretty easy, like for example catching the ghost's movement with a motion sensor or escaping the ghost during its hunt. Next, you need to capture 10 3-star photos with your camera. A 3-star photo means you perfectly capture the activity or moved object in the frame of your photo. This can be incredibly buggy, so patience is required occasionally. And the last thing we need to do is find the bone, which is this small little collectible you find on every map, but the spawn location is entirely random, so keep your eyes open at all times. On my winning run, I also managed to correctly guess the poltergeist ghost for the very first time, which was nice. With a small delay, I also unlocked the at the time very cryptic trophy called They're Here, with even more confusing description reading, witness a poltergeist ability. Right now I had literally no indication of any abilities existing in the game, but sooner I realized these abilities were the most important aspect of this game, and they shall prove quite useful on our journey to reach the final few trophies of Phasmophobia. But at the time, without reading much into it, I continued on with my path to greatness by getting obliterated in every second match I played. The new ghost type we identify for the very first time is the Banshee, a pretty vanilla ghost type that doesn't pose much of a threat. As I was playing, I eventually reached level 20 and could start calling myself a professional ghost hunter, judging by the difficulty I unlocked. During my night shift grind, I managed to accumulate my spendings to about $10,000, which I had no idea how it happened, since the shop in this game is quite confusing for a beginner like I was, at least in my opinion. In case you get overwhelmed, you can still visit this playing area in the lobby, which has this cute little Jenga game which sums up my life after the consequences of my actions accurately. While completing some perfect investigations, I stumble upon the Fae and Raiju ghosts. You aren't necessarily required to keep doing these perfect investigations each round, but I can honestly attest to the fact that this game is genuinely fun. No wonder that a simple game like this can keep its player base pretty steady throughout the years, even including the many gameplay droughts it has had. So if you aren't easily scared and are looking for a chill game to play, this is the one for you, my friend. Yes, even in the context of this genre, this game is pretty chill when you get the hang of it. Back to it, we earn a trophy for completing 50 optional objectives throughout our ghost hunting career, which is pretty neat, and also a trophy for guessing the wraith correctly. All is well until I find a small issue. 2 issues in fact. The first issue I noticed was my progression speed. You see, to unlock every trophy this game has to offer, you need to reach the prestige level 3, which basically means you need to reach the level 100 on 3 different occasions, and as you can see, we are on level 28 after around 10 hours of playtime. Now I know the speed of my investigations will increase with the skill we gather along the way, but still, that is a long time to be hunting ghosts. The second issue was the taking all challenges trophy, which you unlock by completing the weekly challenge 10 times. The problem is in the word weekly, because that implies we need to keep doing this for 2.5 months, which is just too long. Reasonably, I hit up Reddit to see what is the best way to level up in this game, and almost every source claimed that the best way to do it was through a custom difficulty setting. The problem is that in order to unlock this custom difficulty, you need to be level 50 already, which is still 22 levels away from us. So bookmark it for now, and let's keep looking. The next source of information I found was on our Dear PSN profiles, where a user confirmed that you can set your console to a different time and the weekly challenge will magically reset. An absolute lifesaver. This means that we can speed up the process of both of our issues, complete many weekly challenges back to back for the taking all challenges trophy, and also level up quickly, since after you complete a weekly challenge you get rewarded with 5000 XP, which is quite a lot. After learning this valuable information, we go to work. I manually enter the date on which the weekly challenge should reset, load up the game, and voila, it works. Add to the fact that the challenge is the speedrun one, which we already completed earlier, where we basically get tier 3 equipment for free with zero limitation. All of this on top of the fact that I'm getting pretty decent at this game, even running loops around the kitchen table with the ghost just like when we were kids. Hontu, Onryo, Goryo later, my investigation strategy is extremely optimized to the point where the investigation takes just under 10 minutes on average. It goes as follows. We take the camera, EMF reader and thermometer at the start, enter the house and grab the haunted mirror on the wall to the left. This haunted mirror is one of the 7 cursed possessions in this game that I haven't mentioned until now. They are these tools for experienced players with high rewards but also a higher risk. One of them is our mentioned mirror. This mirror helps you locate the ghost's favorite room instantly by providing you with a visual of the room. So for example, if you look inside and see this, that means that the ghost hangs around in the garage. If you see something like this, that means it likes the kitchen, so on and so on. The price for this valuable information is your sanity, which is a mechanic I never really paid much attention to, even though I probably should. It basically functions as a threshold for when the ghost is able to start a hunt. So if you are, for example, on 80% sanity, a djinn, poltergeist, spirit and a bunch of others can never initiate a hunt, which means that they can't kill you. Anyways, after we learn which room the ghost prefers, we set up our evidence gadgets and start looking for the ghost's behavior to identify it. Sometimes when I feel cheeky, I play with the tarot cards as well, which is another cursed possession which basically applies random effects on you, the player. I played around with them just because I wanted to pull a card which has exactly 1% chance of appearing, and what it does is instantly kill you. I have never pulled this card ever, even after like 50 hours of game time, which is a shame because that would have been hilarious to see. After pinpointing which ghost type we are dealing with, we leave and repeat it all again. In the process of this, we also managed to earn some random miscellaneous trophies, like for example the Escape Artist one, where our objective was to simply escape a revenant during its hunt. The revenant is the fastest ghost in the game, so that's probably why this trophy exists in the first place. After completing 5 weekly challenges, we received a trophy for it, as well as a trophy for discovering the twins ghost type for the very first time. I took a break from resetting my console time and completed a bunch of normal contracts, which reminded me of just how slowly the XP bar was filling up. Luckily, a new week began by this point, which meant an entirely new challenge available. The title was Survival of the Fittest, and the description read, "You've got no pills, no sanity, and no evidence to work with." Now my first thought was, how the hell is this even possible? I opened up Reddit again, and that's when I found out. Each ghost has an ability they can perform, and it's entirely unique to their type, which means that this was the key to success for this particular challenge. You may also remember when we unlocked the trophy for witnessing the poltergeist's ability. Back then I had no idea what that meant, but now after doing a bunch of research, poltergeist's ability is basically throwing items. Now every ghost can throw items, but if you look carefully, poltergeist throws these items way further, more often, and can even throw numerous items at once. Another ghost ability is for example the Wraith one, which leaves no footprints in the salt after stepping in it. Now there are a bunch of these ghosts that are extremely hard to identify, like for example the djinn, which can drain your sanity by 25% at once, which you basically won't even notice. Enough explaining, let's see what that looks like in practice. On my first ever run, I grabbed a smudge stick to blind the ghost, salt to check for Wraith, and a flashlight to see and attract the ghost to my location, since powered on electronic zafted mechanic. We enter the house and immediately place our salt in this corner and simply wait for the ghost to start a hunt. We know the ghost is close based on the fact that our flashlight starts flickering, so we must stay sharp. Now while I'm looping the ghost, let me reiterate the fact that I'm absolutely horrible at this game in this footage and have basically no idea what I'm doing. Still, I try my best to figure out what kind of ghost we are dealing with, so I open up my notebook and start eliminating our options. I get rid of the myling first because the myling is very quiet and this ghost was not. Next, I eliminate the Wraith because we could see its footsteps inside a pile of salt. Next on our elimination list is Thay, Moroi, Hontu and Revenant, solely based on the fact that during the hunt the ghost's speed was just about normal and every single one of these 4 ghosts have extremely fast movement speed. I also rule out Diogen because this ghost is extremely fast when he is far away, but also extremely slow while close, as you can see, so that one is easy to recognize. I grab another smudge stick and try again. My attempts of ghost hunts go for quite a while and in the end I still guessed incorrectly. I was extremely close though, and for a first time trying this, I would say I did fine. The next attempt I unfortunately get dealt with by the ghost, so there is that. Right after I get close again but not quite there, dying again and again until finally by a stroke of luck I managed to guess correctly, which felt amazing. This mode was honestly the moment the game completely gripped me and I couldn't stop playing. Just something about running around this table trying to figure out what kind of demon is after me was extremely addicting. In the process of getting better at this, I unlocked a trophy for guessing the Moroi ghost type correctly, and a little later also unlocking a trophy for completing 50 contracts. I encounter my first Diogen, which in practice looks something like this. You can probably guess why this ghost type is the community's favorite one. Before even noticing, I was done with the 10 weekly challenges trophy, which flew past by since I was having a blast with this mode. Only 3 levels away from our goal of reaching the level 50, so we can finally see what this supposed custom difficulty is all about. Oh, and I also managed to spend $50,000 in the shop, so that's something as well. I finally managed to guess the Mimic ghost type correctly, which is definitely the most annoying type in the whole game, since as the name might suggest, the Mimic can copy different abilities of any ghost, which proves to be quite difficult to catch on since not every ability is visible immediately. Usually they are shown in more subtle ways, but anyway, we get another trophy for simply completing 30 different daily tasks which reset every day. And finally, after all this time resetting, we unlock the trophy for completing 10 weekly challenges. The timing also couldn't get any better since right after that we unlock the final difficulty, that being the infamous custom difficulty I've been meaning to unlock since like level 25. Now it's time to start the huge grind I've read about on Reddit like one time, but before all that, let's upgrade every piece of our equipment to level 2 so we can be even more efficient, but more importantly unlock another trophy. Okay, so the custom difficulty provides with many options you can use to basically tailor the game to your liking. You can set up the ghost's behavior, how many hiding spots spawn, even simple things like the weather. The game is even generous enough that it rewards you with XP based on the options you chose. You probably see where this is going. We are going to craft an extremely hard scenario that can be completed basically under 1 minute if everything goes correctly, all while earning 13 times the normal XP amount. The catch is that these runs are extremely RNG heavy. Let's jump into a game and I'll show you. The map we want to select is Camp Woodwind. We just grab 2 smudge sticks and a salt. As we walk out, we want to immediately place 2 salt lions in these 2 spots and wait for the ghost to initiate the hunt. This whole process takes about 20 seconds, which is quite fast if you ask me. After the hunt begins, we want to pay close attention to the ghost's behavior. We are basically doing the exact same thing like in the weekly challenge we took a look at previously, but this time it's way harder because of the fact that we're unable to sprint. After the hunt ends, we need to take our best guess on what the ghost type is and leave. Rinse and repeat. This strategy has about a 25% chance of working, but it's definitely worth it since you average around 3k experience every 4 to 6 minutes. A perfect investigation on the nightmare difficulty would take me around 15 to 20 minutes and grant me 1500 XP. I mean, the writing is clear as day. One of the first ghosts I managed to figure out during this grind was the Phantom. This ghost is easily identifiable since blinking is less frequent and the ghost stays invisible for a longer period of time than usual. So at this point the whole game basically boils down to this singular playstyle, over and over and over again. Here and there we managed to unlock a trophy, like for example the trophy for spending 100,000 gold, completing 100 contracts, and even unlocking every part of our arsenal to the max level. By looking at our remaining trophies, we can figure out that we just need to keep playing until we reach Prestige 3 to secure 3 trophies along the way. Unlock 2 miscellaneous trophies, with one of them being in multiplayer, and 3 trophies tied to the hardest challenge Phasmophobia has to offer. These trophies are notorious and will truly test your mastery of this game if you don't try to cheese it. The trophies are tied to the bronze, silver, and gold apocalypse challenges. You can complete each of these challenges individually or be like me and immediately jump right into the gold version, since after you are successful, all of these trophies will unlock retroactively without you needing to go back and finish each one. So, what does this entail, you might ask yourself? Well, first of all, you have to play in the single player mode. This is no issue for me since I only played single player up to this point anyway, but if you are accustomed to having a buddy with you, this can be terrible news. The second condition is that you have to select a custom difficulty preset that pretty much makes your life actual hell. You are not able to sprint at all, starting sanity at 0, which means the ghost can come kill you immediately after entering the building. Ghost speed is set to 150%. You cannot switch on any lights since the fuse box is broken, and basically everything terrible that can happen to you will. Our third condition is the map. We must play on the largest map in the entire game, which has 69 rooms and 2 floors. Just for perspective, the most played map by pretty much everyone has only 11 rooms and 2 floors. With the addition of you not being able to sprint, this is just pure torture. And for the last condition, or should I say conditions, we must take a photo of the ghost, complete all 3 optional objectives, and correctly guess the ghost type. This is a lot. Let's just jump into it and see what it's like. We grab the incense to blind the ghost during its hunt, crucifix to prevent the ghost from spawning on top of us, and an EMF reader. Entering the building and not even properly making it to the first room, the ghost decides to initiate a hunt running towards me at 150% speed with me not being able to run. This ends up just as you might imagine. Let's try again. The next attempt we managed to survive for a while, but with a small problem. I literally have no idea where the ghost is, and since this map has 69 rooms, I decided to reset my run. There truly is no point in finding the ghost properly in this mode, since you basically have no chance of surviving the hunt. On to the next. This one seemed a little more promising with the help of the parabolic microphone that catched onto the ghost sound through a wall, but this optimism didn't last long based on the fact that I got my neck snapped like 40 seconds later. This just wouldn't work like this. I had to think about it for a while and came to the conclusion that if I wanted to have a slither of chance, I must reset until the RNG blesses me with Diogen. Diogen is extremely fast when it is far away but slow as a snail when it is close. It also knows your location on the map at all times, meaning that every hunt is predictable and easily avoided. So that's exactly what I did. I entered the building, found out it wasn't a Diogen, and just straight up left. This went for about an hour until I got this run. Extremely doable optional objectives on the board are a plus, so I grabbed my stuff and went in. What I'm doing here is switching the light switch on and off repeatedly. This lets me know when the ghost is on a hunt or not, because when it is hunting, We as the player can never interact with the light switch, as you can see in the clip on the left. So in our run, the ghost starts its hunt, and as I look around I hear absolutely nothing. As I am about to quit out and try again, for some reason I move an inch closer to the wall and hear this. The footsteps. Unusually slow. This has to be a revenant. I decide to continue on even though the revenant is extremely dangerous. This ghost type is really slow when it doesn't see you, but as we will see in a short while, it is a different story when it does. I mean, there is a reason that this trophy we got a long time ago now exists in the first place. With the ghost figured out, it's time to take a photo of it and complete the 2 remaining objectives. We grab our camera and motion sensor and head back in. I inch my way closer and closer to his location and try to go for the photo. What happened there was that the ghost's hunt ended just before I used my incense, which would have frozen the ghost in place for a few seconds, making it easier for me to capture the photo. It also doesn't help that I'm on the edge the entire time while playing this, since I really don't want to die here. With the walk of shame, I make my way back to the vehicle, grab some more stuff and try again. This time being even more careful and stopping at almost every adjacent room there is. We wait for the ghost to start hunting again and... With the photo of the ghost and every objective completed, we can head back to the start and leave this place without returning ever again. We also experience another hunt which locks the front door for good measure, but there is no way for the ghost to get us now. We get into our truck and ride off into the sunset with our 3 new beautiful trophies. This unfortunately means we need to go back to the grind. Running the same map over and over again, we unlock the first prestige, which resets our equipment back to level 1. As I was hunting for the second prestige, I got extremely lucky and unlocked the Doom Slate trophy. This trophy requires you to get killed by the demon's ability in the first 60 seconds of the map starting. I unlocked it by complete accident when the demon decided to spawn on top of me, basically gifting me this trophy for free, skipping the journey of dying continuously just to get it later. After about 6 hours of this, we unlocked the second prestige and can finally see the end of the tunnel with just 2 trophies remaining. I decided to knock out the last miscellaneous trophy we have left, which is called the Bait. In order to unlock this one, we need to get killed by the Banshee, but this time in multiplayer. So I went ahead and bought PS Plus just for this occasion. I thought that this trophy would take me a little longer since I needed to roll the Banshee ghost type, but surprisingly I got it on my 3rd ever multiplayer match. Shout out to this Rengoku guy for being there with me. After that, it's time to finish this, so let's do it, shall we?
A private investigator already? Nice work.
With about 54 hours of playtime on this game, it's time to say goodbye. It definitely was a rollercoaster of emotions, especially during the Gold Apocalypse challenge. If you enjoyed the video, I'll let you know that at 1000 subscribers I will be getting the Super Meat Boy Platinum under 10 hours. So if you are interested even slightly, be sure to sub up and like the video. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.